Everybody loves pixel art. It is reminiscent of old video games, and it has an undeniable charm to it, even if you weren't around when those games were popular. If you're a fan of pixel art like myself, then you may have considered incorporating it into the design of your setup somehow. Well, recently it seemed like Best Buy was trying to get rid of this particular item that I'm about to talk about because I haven't been able to find it on the website ever since. There was a sale and it was going for a really reasonable price. So let me introduce to you the Dotty. So the Dotty is a pixel matrix made by a small company called Yeti. I haven't ever heard of Yeti up until I discovered the Dotty, but they have a handful of really cool products. The Dotty here sports a minimalistic design, and that really allows you to let your pixel art shine through. The pixel matrix itself is an 8x8 grid, and it spans a total of 6.5 by 6.5 centimeters. It's a perfect square. The unit itself is an inch thick, so it is by no means a bulky product, and it would look great on any shelf. One thing I really like about it is the fact that it's battery powered and it can be charged via micro USB. Everyone has micro USB cables nowadays. The battery itself isn't huge or anything. It is a really small unit after all. It will drain on you even if you're not going to be using it regularly or at all. I had to charge up the Dotty before making this review video, and I hadn't turned it on for weeks. But that isn't too big of an issue. If you want the Dotty to be on 24/7, you should just keep it plugged in. Find a way to hide the cable. So to interact with the Dotty, there are actually touch buttons across the top, which aren't visible. So the controls themselves don't subtract from the design. To turn it on, all you have to do is hold the top for a few seconds and it should turn on by itself. There we go. So the touch buttons aren't super responsive, and that's one of my gripes with this unit. While I really like the clean look of no buttons on any part of the unit, I would rather have some small physical buttons that are easy to interact with rather than some fidgety touch controls. What really surprised me is the fact that they managed to fit gestures into this small space across the top. So to cycle across modes on the Dotty, all you have to do is just swipe across the top. There we go. Again, it's not super responsive. By default, the Dotty comes with a number of presets. It begins with the default image, which is the Dotty logo, and then you have 8-bit creatures, which cycles through as an animation. There is a clock, which is kind of hard to read, but I guess it's kind of neat to have that feature anyway. I wouldn't use the clock feature. There is a dice feature. The dice feature seems like a bit of a gimmick, but essentially you can shake the unit and it rolls the dice for you. And then finally, there is a battery indicator to indicate the battery level of your Dotty unit. Now, what really makes this product shine is the fact that there is an app that you can download, and using the app you can design your own pixel art and upload it straight to the unit. The app itself comes with only 8 presets, and that's the amount of images that you can actually save to the Dotty. You can't save any more than 8. However, the app does give you the option to save the images straight to your phone, so that's also available to you. But not only are you able to design your own images and upload them to the Dotty, you can also design your own animations by drawing out every single frame. There aren't a whole lot of frames that you can add to it, but it is a nice feature and it adds a whole new dynamic to this decorational piece. When the Dotty is connected to the app, you also have an option to enable notifications, and it can notify you whenever you get a new tweet, a text message, phone call, email. Those features seem pretty cool, and I can kind of see myself using them. Another cool feature that might get you to actually buy more Dotty units is the fact that you can actually pair multiple units together and create a bigger image that way. The app lets you group multiple Dottys together. Now, I don't have another Dotty unit here to test this, so I don't know how smooth the experience is. The result of grouping multiple Dottys together is a nearly seamless image, and that is enabled by the really small bezels on the pixel matrix. There isn't a whole lot I don't like about the Dotty. It's a nice little box, and for what it's supposed to do, it does its job really well. My biggest gripe would be the fact that you can't actually cycle through the saved images on the device itself. You need to connect it to your phone. That and the fact that the touch buttons are pretty unresponsive. But I guess that doesn't really matter as much because you're mostly going to be controlling the Dotty through your phone anyway. So that brings us to the verdict of this video. In my opinion, this little product is definitely worth the money if you find it on sale. At regular pricing, you would have to really want a pixel matrix to dish out this much for a small box. But I think I found mine for like $25, so it was a really good price for this thing. This little product can add a nice charming splash of color to your setup. I imagine it would make a really nice gift item. I know I personally will be using the Dotty in B-roll shots in upcoming tech videos on this channel. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you think that you would be able to find room for such a product in your setup. And I'll see you in the next one. It is currently 1:34 a.m. I have a college quiz tomorrow, but I'm going to go ahead and push this video. And I would also like to take this moment as an opportunity to thank everyone who has subscribed to me on my YouTube channel. We have just surpassed 750 subscribers.